it'll be catastrophic for our country.
The shock news of a Brexit.
The historic decision by British voters that's affecting all of us.
Today was a lot of fear and uncertainty.
There could be political turmoil.
The UK out of the EU and investors out of luck.
The Dow Industrials has lost more than 600 points today.
Economic shockwaves from the UK to the US.
Global aftershocks after that vote in Britain.
Tonight, the worldwide impact of Brexit.
Google says after the votes were all in, they had a huge spike in the number of British people asking what the EU even is.
Too late for questions like that. Their decision to leave the European Union hit our stock markets hard. There's the Dow Jones plunging today, and for anyone with a 401k, our savings going with it. By the closing bell, the Dow was down 610 points. That's the single biggest one-day point drop since October 2008, when our economy crashed. Thankfully, there is the weekend for investors to take a deep breath. But economists say the next few trading days could still be rough.
The volatility may be long-lasting, as it could take years for Britain to fully withdraw from the European Union.
This is not over. This is just the beginning of a long process.
Markets hate uncertainty. And the future is anything but clear after Britain's bold Brexit. The Dow closed Friday down more than 600 points.
It's not the end of the world. We are not down the way the rest of the world is.
The sell-off was swift. Markets in the UK, Asia, and Europe fell significantly, and banking stocks took a big hit.
The largest industry export out of the UK is financial services. Every large U.S. bank has a location there. We use that as the beachhead to then go into Europe and into Eastern Europe and Asia.
In Britain, the pound saw its biggest single-day drop ever, down 10% against the U.S. dollar. While the initial impact worldwide is financial, the political ramifications are almost instant in Great Britain, where Prime Minister David Cameron says he will resign. Cameron led the campaign to stay in the EU and lost.
I will do everything I can as Prime Minister to steady the ship over the coming weeks and months. But I do not think it would be right for me to try to be the captain that steers our country to its next destination.
The split to some felt more like a revolution than a referendum. Brexit campaigner Nigel Farage called it a victory for ordinary people against big banks, big business, and big politics.
June the 23rd needs to become a national bank holiday, and we will call it Independence Day. Thank you.
The vote was split 52% leave and 48% stay, with older voters deciding the kind of country the young will live in. Those who backed leaving the EU believe Great Britain will now have more control over immigration, trade, and a host of other economic issues.
There is simply no need in the 21st century to be part of a federal system of government based in Brussels that is imitated nowhere else on earth.
President Obama says the United States respects the voters' decision.
One thing that will not change is the special relationship that exists between our two nations. That will endure.
The Federal Reserve says it's ready to step in and help other countries' central banks if needed. Wall Street experts say people with 401ks and other long-term market investments should not panic.